At a massive family reunion, my husband announced, "We're selling the house, and my mom is moving in permanently." I stared at him and said, "Funny, I just sold it yesterday." His mother collapsed, screaming, "You can't." He snatched the papers from my hand and realized his mistake too late. I married Alan 12 years ago. We bought our house 10 years ago. It was a beautiful home in a quiet neighborhood just outside of Dallas. It needed some work, but we poured time, money, and love into it. It wasn't just a house, it was our house. My safe space. My sanctuary. The one place where I thought I had control. But that was before Deborah. Deborah is my mother-in-law. Or, as I like to call her, the absolute worst part of my marriage. She has never liked me. From the moment Alan introduced me, she made it clear she thought I wasn't good enough. Too lazy, because I didn't iron my bedsheets. Too careless, because I didn't make dinner from scratch every night. And too selfish, because I liked my things my way in my house. For the first few years of our marriage, she was just a visitor. An overbearing visitor, sure, but at least she left. Then, 6 months ago, she moved in temporarily. That temporarily turned into hell. It started small. Little comments. Passive-aggressive digs. Then she started rearranging my house. My kitchen? She took it over. My office? Suddenly, she needed it as her reading room. She invited her friends over without asking. Used my car without permission. Complained constantly about the food, the furniture, the neighborhood. And Alan? Oh, come on, she's just trying to help. She's just used to doing things a certain way. She doesn't mean anything by it. I begged him to set boundaries. He said I was overreacting. I told him I was reaching my limit. He told me to just ignore her. I tried. I really tried. But it kept getting worse. One day, I found her going through my closet. My closet. Holding up my clothes and shaking her head like she was personally offended by my taste in fashion. "What are you doing?" I asked. She smiled. "Oh, just seeing if you had anything I could wear." "Wear? My clothes?" I looked at Alan, expecting him to finally say something. He shrugged. "She just wants to borrow something. What's the big deal?" That's when I knew. Alan wasn't on my side. He never had been. I don't know why that moment did it, but something snapped inside me. I had spent years trying to compromise. Trying to be patient. Trying to not overreact. And for what? For a husband who dismissed me? For a woman who treated me like a guest in my own home? No. No more. That night, I started paying closer attention. Alan had been acting weird lately. Taking calls outside. Talking in hushed tones. Suddenly very interested in real estate listings. One night, after a few drinks, he slipped up. "We'll probably sell the house soon," he said. I froze. "We?" He blinked, like he hadn't meant to say it out loud. "I mean, you know, eventually. It's a big house. Mom's getting older. We could downsize." I felt like I was going to be sick. Downsize? That was the first time I'd heard that word. I asked him point blank, "Are you planning to sell the house?" He got defensive. "Not planning. Just considering. It's just an idea." Liar. I could tell. He was already planning it. And suddenly, everything made sense. The calls. The secret conversations. His weird behavior. He was selling our house. Behind my back. For her. I barely slept that night. The next morning, I called my realtor. Here's the thing. Alan had bad credit when we bought the house. The mortgage was in my name, which meant I was the legal owner. And that meant I could sell it without his permission. I met with my realtor that afternoon. The market was hot. My house was worth way more than what we bought it for. Within a week, I had a cash buyer. No inspections. No contingencies. Just a signed contract and a closing date. And I didn't say a word to Alan. I just waited. Waited for him to feel comfortable. Waited for him to think he had it all under control. And then came the family reunion. Alan's family is huge. Texas-style huge. Every year, his uncle hosts a massive reunion at his ranch. We're talking barbecue, beer, and way too many people crammed into one place. Alan was in his element. Laughing, drinking, soaking up the attention. Then he clinked his beer bottle. "Hey, everyone, got some big news," he announced. People turned. Conversations died down. I already knew what he was going to say. "We're selling the house," he declared, beaming. Cheers. Claps. His mother beamed. And, he continued, "Mom will be moving in with us permanently." More cheers. More toasts. More backslaps. I just smiled. Calmly. Casually. And I said, loud and clear, "Funny, I just sold it yesterday." Silence. Alan turned to me, confused. "What?" I pulled out the paperwork. "I sold the house. Yesterday. To a lovely young couple. They're moving in next week." His mother shrieked. "What do you mean, you sold it?" she screeched. Alan snatched the papers from my hand. His eyes darted over the legal jargon. The color drained from his face. You can't do that, his mother wailed. Oh, but I can, I said. And I did. And that's when the real chaos started. Alan's face was frozen in shock. His eyes darted across the paperwork, his mouth opening and closing like he was trying to form words, but couldn't quite manage. His mother, Deborah, was clutching her chest like I had personally ripped the air from her lungs. You're lying, she's fat. You have to be lying. Alan looked up, his voice shaking. Tell me you're joking. I crossed my arms. I'm not. The cheers from earlier? Gone. The once lively reunion? Silent. Everyone was staring, some awkwardly shifting, others straight up gawking. Alan's uncle cleared his throat. Well, this is unexpected. Alan finally found his voice. How could you? He hissed. This is our house. I tilted my head. Our house? Funny, because you were planning to sell it without telling me. What was I supposed to do? Wait until you surprised me with a for sale sign on the lawn. His jaw clenched. He looked around, realizing this wasn't just a private argument anymore. It was a scene. And he hated looking bad in front of people. He dropped his voice, stepping closer. We'll talk about this later. I smiled. No need. The deal's done. Deborah screeched. You selfish, ungrateful little. I held up a hand. Careful. We're in public. She ignored me, turning to Alan. Do something. Alan, still gripping the papers, took a deep breath. Then he did what he always did, tried to fix things on his terms. This isn't final, he said, shaking the papers. There's still time. We can call the buyers. Tell them there's been a mistake. I laughed. Actually laughed. It's final. It's a cash deal, Alan. Signed. Done. Over. I could see it hit him. The reality. The weight of what he had just lost. And then, as if right on cue, Deborah collapsed. 1 second she was screeching, the next she was clutching her chest and sinking to the ground. A few of Alan's cousins rushed forward, panicked. Someone yelled for water. Someone else asked if they should call 911. Alan freaked out. Mom? Mom? He dropped to his knees, patting her face like he thought she might disappear into thin air. Breathe, okay? Just breathe. Deborah groaned dramatically. I can't breathe. I rolled my eyes. This woman had spent months faking illnesses to get attention. But I knew better than to call her bluff in front of her adoring family. Someone handed her a glass of water. She sipped it, shaking like a leaf. This is too much, she croaked. My heart, my blood pressure. Alan turned to me, eyes wild. Look what you've done. I raised an eyebrow. You mean, look what you did? You're the one who tried to sell the house behind my back. I just finished what you started. This isn't over, he growled. I shrugged. We'll see. Deborah, still playing the part of a dying woman, weakly gripped Alan's sleeve. Get the papers, she whispered. Find a way to undo it. I leaned down, just enough so she could hear me. You know what's bad for blood pressure? I murmured. Stress. You might want to take it easy. Her eyes blazed. But she was stuck. If she really collapsed, she couldn't chase me down. If she was faking, she couldn't snap back without exposing herself. Checkmate. I left the reunion early. I figured Alan would stew in his anger for a few hours, maybe cool off. I was wrong. By the time I pulled into the driveway, his car was already there. The second I stepped out of mine, he was storming toward me. We need to talk, he snapped. I walked right past him. No, you need to listen. He followed me inside, slamming the door behind him. I don't know what's gotten into you, but you can't just sell our house without talking to me. I turned on him. Oh, you mean like how you were planning to sell it without talking to me? He flinched but recovered quickly. That's different. I laughed. How? Because I was doing it for us. I scoffed. No, you were doing it for her. His eyes flashed with anger. She's my mother. She needs a place to live. Then she can buy one, I shot back. He clenched his fists. You don't get it, do you? Family takes care of each other. Oh, I get it, I said. I just didn't realize I married a man who was married to his mother instead of me. That hit him hard. His face twisted, but he didn't deny it. I can fix this, he muttered. No, Alan, I said, stepping closer. You can't. He let out a breath. So, that's it? You're just going to walk away from everything we built? I narrowed my eyes. Funny. You didn't have a problem doing that when you thought you were in control. Silence. And then, his phone rang. I knew who it was before he even checked. His mother. I smirked. Go ahead. Answer it. I'll wait. He stared at the screen, jaw tight. I grabbed my purse. But not for long. And with that, I walked out. I drove straight to my lawyer's office. Not just to finalize the house sale, no, I had bigger plans. Because here's the thing, I had been doing more than just selling the house. I had been preparing. And by preparing, I mean, I had dug into Alan's finances. And guess what? He had secrets. Big ones. And I was about to use them. I pulled into my lawyer's office, gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles turned white. My heart was pounding, not from regret, not from fear, but from rage. I had spent years being treated like an afterthought. Ignored, dismissed, disrespected. And Alan thought he could just steamroll me into giving up my own home? No. I wasn't just walking away, I was burning the bridge behind me. I took a deep breath, grabbed my folder, and walked inside. My lawyer, Dan, was already waiting. "Tell me you have something," I said, dropping into the chair. Dan smirked. "Oh, I have something, all right." He slid a stack of papers across the desk. And when I read them, I grinned. Because Alan? The man who tried to pull one over on me? Yeah, he had been hiding money. See, Alan had a business. Not a super successful one, but enough to keep him busy. I never questioned it much because I had my own job. We split expenses, and as far as I knew, our finances were normal. But over the last few months, money had been disappearing. At first, I thought it was just regular spending. But then, things didn't add up. Our joint account was lower than usual. Credit card payments were being made late. And when I checked the statements, Alan had been withdrawing large sums of money, thousands at a time. I asked him about it once. He brushed it off, said it was for investments. I let it go, pretended to believe him. But I had my suspicions. So, while I was selling the house, I did a little digging. And Dan? Well, he found exactly what I was looking for. Alan wasn't just moving his mother into our house. He was funneling money into a secret account. And guess who had access? His mother. I got home late that night. Alan was waiting, arms crossed, face tight. "Where were you?" he snapped. I ignored him, tossing my bag onto the couch. He followed me. "We're not done talking about this." "You're right," I said, turning to face him. "We aren't." I pulled the papers from my bag and tossed them onto the coffee table. He frowned, picking them up. As his eyes scanned the pages, his face paled. His jaw twitched. "Where did you get this?" "I have my ways." Silence. Then he laughed. A short, humorless, panicked laugh. "You went through my finances?" I crossed my arms. "Didn't think I'd find out?" "It's not what it looks like," he said quickly, but I could see the sweat forming on his forehead. "Oh! Because it looks like you've been moving money into an account that I don't have access to. And it looks like your mother has been helping you do it." His mouth opened, then closed. I tilted my head. Was this part of the plan? Sell the house, cash out, move her in, and then what? Leave me with nothing? No, of course not. He ran a hand through his hair. It's complicated." "I've got time," I said flatly. He hesitated. I could see the calculations running through his head. Then he did what he always did. He lied. "It was for us." I almost laughed. "Try again." He sighed, rubbing his face. "Fine. I was just keeping some money aside. Just in case." I stared at him. Just in case what? His silence was deafening. And then? His phone rang. We both looked at it. The screen flashed Mom. I smirked. "Go ahead. Answer it. I'll wait." He didn't move. I took a step closer. Lowered my voice. "You know what's funny? I checked the withdrawals. Guess when they started?" His Adam's apple bobbed. I leaned in. The same month she moved in. Busted. I should have been furious. But honestly, I just felt done. Alan wasn't just a bad husband. He was a coward. A liar. A mama's boy who would rather betray his wife than stand up to his own mother. And I was so over it. I grabbed my purse. Alan tensed. "Where are you going?" I smiled. "To make sure I take everything before you and Mommy Dearest try to." His face darkened. "You can't just leave." I raised an eyebrow. "Watch me." He grabbed my wrist. "We can fix this." I yanked my arm away. "No, you can fix this. You can tell your mother to find her own house. You can tell your secret account goodbye. You can learn how to live without me." His eyes flared with panic. "You don't mean that." I did. And for the first time, I wasn't scared to show it. I stepped back. And with one last look at the man I thought I married, I turned around. And walked out. I walked out that night, but I knew it wasn't over. Alan wasn't the type to let things go, especially when it meant losing control. For the next few days, I ignored his calls, his texts, the pathetic, "let's talk," messages he left on my voicemail. Then came the emails. Then the threats. If I didn't fix this, he'd fight me on everything, our finances, our assets, everything. But I was ready for war. And I had one last move to play. Alan thought he was slick. Thought he could gaslight, manipulate, weasel his way into getting what he wanted. But he underestimated one thing. I had nothing left to lose. So when Alan called and demanded we meet at his mother's house, I agreed. Not because I wanted to reconcile, but because I wanted to end this. The second I walked in, I knew it was a setup. Deborah was sitting on the couch like some Victorian widow in mourning. Alan stood next to her, arms crossed, trying to look tough. The second I sat down, the performance began. I just don't understand how you could do this, Deborah said, shaking her head. After everything I've done for you. I laughed. You mean, after everything I've done for you? Hosting you in my house for 6 months? Cooking, cleaning, putting up with your constant insults. She sniffled. I was just trying to help. Alan jumped in. We don't have to fight. We just need to find a solution. I crossed my arms. The solution is simple. You two get your own place and leave me the hell alone. Alan clenched his jaw. I can't just abandon my mother. I tilted my head. Oh, but you can abandon me? Silence. Deborah, ever the drama queen, let out a shaky sigh. I knew you were selfish, but I never thought you'd ruin my son's life. I pulled out my phone and pressed play. A recording filled the room. Alan's voice. His own words. Just hold on, Mom. Once we sell the house, she won't have anywhere to go. She'll have to do whatever we say. I'll take care of everything. Just trust me. She won't know until it's too late. Deborah gasped. Alan went pale. I smiled. Oops, I said, locking my phone. Guess I didn't know. Alan lunged forward, trying to grab the phone. How did you? I stepped back. You think I'm stupid? I knew you were up to something. So I recorded our conversations. Every whisper, every accidental slip. I held up my phone. And now I have proof. His face twisted in fury. I cut in. You thought you could trap me. Thought you could make me homeless, desperate, dependent on you. I turned to Deborah. And you thought you could control me. That I'd be some obedient little wife, cooking and cleaning while you ruled my house. Alan opened his mouth, but I wasn't done. I pulled out another set of papers. This, I said, is my lawyer's letter confirming that since the house was in my name, I don't owe you a dime from the sale. I smirked. I get to keep everything. Deborah actually screeched. Alan grabbed the papers, flipping through them desperately, his breathing shallow. This isn't fair. I smiled. Neither was your little plan. He threw the papers down. You're going to regret this. I raised an eyebrow. Oh, like how you regret getting caught. He clenched his fists. Deborah was full-on sobbing now, rocking back and forth like she was the real victim here. I grabbed my purse. Good luck with your new living arrangements, I said, heading for the door. Alan's voice was ice cold. You ruined everything. I turned back one last time. No, Alan. You did. And with that, I walked out for good. Alan tried to fight. He really did. He even tried to challenge the house sale in court. But legally, he didn't have a leg to stand on. He and Deborah ended up in a tiny apartment, one that was way smaller than the house they'd been planning to steal from me. Me? I moved into a gorgeous condo downtown. With my own money. My fresh start. And for the first time in years, I could breathe. Because when I looked around, I saw a home that was truly mine. And no one, not Alan, not his mother, not anyone could take that from me. Some people say revenge isn't worth it. That it doesn't fix anything. But let me tell you something. Watching Alan and his mother scramble to survive after trying to screw me over, that was the sweetest justice of all. And I'd do it again in a heartbeat.